Alright guys, here we go. AJP PR7 2021. So I'm gonna do a test this weekend. I'm on Öland, Sweden. Look at this beautiful drone. And yeah, so just had the possibility to loan this from AJP, the Nordic parts of it. Check it out. And yeah, the only thing I've done is actually loaded the bags and charged everything up, and I'm gonna make a first impression now. So yeah, actually gonna just jump on it and have a go, so you get the first feeling. Tablet is charging, everything is on, the ignition is on, the ODB is on, so the gears is on, fully loaded with fuel. So here we go. We have this automatic, yeah, this one switched off. Alright, so I turned it on before, and let's... Okay, there we go. Fuel measurements, we have kilometers per hour, the RPMs. The RPMs should be starting to send data. Let's see if I can do it with my... Yeah, so the ODB sensor is sending data to the tablet. Rears. Charging. Great stuff. So I'm gonna put the gear in and see how this feels. Alright. It's a smooth first gear. Here we go. Alright. The first gear is pretty long. Gear lever could be switched upwards, but that's a personal preference. It's a nice 600 engine. It has some torque in the lows, that's really nice. Really makes you want to go. Here we go. Alright, still on the second gear. Gonna take it a bit easy. But this one has a special, it gives you confidence. This the turning ratio is different to KTM and Husqvarna, you can say that. It's nice brakes. That's a long gear ratio. It's pretty nice. Alright. Take it a bit easy. Or not. But this is really nice. I'm gonna make a U-turn here and see how. Okay, the first thing. Okay, let's talk about some first impressions here. The first thing that strikes me is the turning ratio. It's a bit, I don't know if it's more angle or a different angle than Husqvarna and KTM's. Doesn't bring any problems. It's actually pretty nice. What I do think it will deliver is that you will actually be a bit more versatile when it comes to smaller sections. Really nice handlebars. You sit really comfortable and good. You had no problems between switching and from standing and sitting down. No problems with all but the bags in the rear. Yeah, really cool first impression. Let's see how it go back and sitting down is comfortable. It's nice. You can jump a little bit forth and back. Feels like an adventure bike, really. Doesn't, you know, it doesn't give you any surprises, which is really nice. It feels light. It feels 600. It doesn't really feel like a 600. It feels a little bit lighter, I would say. All right. Really nice sound. Makes you want to just go. Okay. I thought the neutral was, but it wasn't on. Nice. All right. This is one of the fixes that I think you need to do when you just personalize your bike. It automatically pops up. I want to fix that. Some personalization. Super smooth. First impression is just like, okay, this is good. This is good. It gives you confidence. No surprises. I think also just it gives you a bit of attack mode, a bit of feeling that you can push. When I started to push, it didn't feel like I was actually frustrated or surprised about any of the balance points. It just gives you a kind of feel like, let's go. Good morning, champs. Sunny day from Öland in Sweden. I'm Martin Lagus. Maybe some of you have seen me before, but running my YouTubes and social media. I am a person that a couple of years ago have decided to go for the big rally, the Rally Dakar. So I'm taking all my steps that I can possibly. Everything from learning to ride motorcycles and learning the tooling, the gearing and media and everything from that. So also starting small, adventure riding and also going on smaller races to be able to do the big one, Dakar, in as soon as possible, of course. So that's a little bit about me, and from that perspective I've had the privilege to loan this AJP from AJP Nordic, AJP PR7. This is an AJP PR7 2021. I had the privilege to loan this weekend and give it a test, give it a try. So this is my simple review, and I've approached the bike from that perspective. Basically a cross between adventure and off-road, can you say push, or being able to push off-road on gravel roads or smaller. So it's been really nice weekend. The sun has been up, it's been really cold, but super nice. And I also had the privilege to work with Enduristan on this YouTube and try out the gear. So it's a bit of a mix. So this one I'm running the Blizzard medium, the Tornado S2 and the Sandstorm X4, which is the tank bag. Also the bottle holder. I didn't use this one, the one in the wheel, because I didn't need it. This was a weekend trip, so I just had the right part was the tent and everything to set up the home. The left one was to cook and to make things outside the home, and this one goes inside the tent, this top one. What I can take away from this is that you don't really fit a laptop in the side ones. I have a MacBook Pro, I couldn't get it in. I did get it in the top bag, so that's good. And other than that, I had some problems with the lower part, the smaller bag on the side, which we can fit underneath the Blizzards. To click it on the sides, it was a bit fiddly. You have to push it really good. This setup, it actually just has these two front, you could say tensions or front straps. They were good enough. I just feel that you can probably find a better solution than this, but they are just connected to the frame, and on the rear you just have two diagonal stripes going over the rear. So it holds really good, and actually it's just two ones to the frame in the front and disconnect it, and then you can actually lift it up and take it to, if you stay at a hotel or something. So I love it. I love the system. It's really efficient, and I love the component-based stuff, because when you're searching for something, I have some experience because I've been camping since I was a Boy Scout, that I've done. But when you're searching for something, you want to do it component-based. You don't want to have this big side bags on like BMWs, because if you're searching for something in the bottom, then you have to throw everything out to be able to check if it's in there. When you have components based like this, then you can search bag by bag by bag. And also it's much easier to think of what is where. You're like, the right side is the tent, the left side is the cooking and digital maybe, and the top one goes inside the tent. So also, if you hustling and buffling and you want to go quickly inside and take a shower, just take the top one and the valuables in there. I have my drone in here, and also some cables and also some other small stuffs, just filling in there. So that's my setup. I'm really happy about it, and used also something that's new from Enduristan is the rock straps. They're really great, and they have what's it called, extension in them, and I used one to just attach it here. I also had more, but I didn't need them, so it's also good to have that in the back of your head. So when it comes to package, this is the way I would go on any bike. super efficient, super light, and yes, they can hold a beating. You've been seeing tests all over the YouTube with that. Super happy about that. So thank you Enduristan for loaning it to me. And yeah, this is my weapon of choice. So going back to the bike, AJP PR7. This has a 600 engine, so 600 cubic centimeters. It says on the engine 650, but it's a bit of a model brand, I think. The actual frame and the tower is made in Portugal. All the other things are assembled. The engine comes from Italy, so it's an old Husqvarna engine. They used to have it on the Husqvarnas from until 2014, I think. So it has a lot of spare parts and it's used in engines, so it works really good. It sucks front forks, also sucks rear, and the tower itself, let's do some commenting on that. It has a pad, Samsung pad, which comes out of the box, and it's really cool. You can actually connect it, and it's by standard, I think, given with the drive mode dashboard. What you do when you use the open source community is that you have a lot more updates and a lot more bug fixes than on the KTMs or Husqvarnas. So use the open source community, which is really important when you do that. And you can have all the apps, so like, yeah, all the apps you can get on Google, so I don't need to mention all of them. What you also do is an OBD connector. You can get an OBD connector connecting that data you get from the engine to the pad. So you get like oil and revs and gears and everything. Bit of a data problem sometimes, but you could probably get some really expensive OBD readers and send it really good data. So the tower is really good. It has an USB connector, and it tricks you and lures you to you do want more installations on the tower because there's possibilities. I really like it. Hella lights, really cool. But going back to the bike itself, aluminium swing, rear swing. You have assembled wheels in Portugal, but they are ordered from other parts. Brembo front and rear brakes. So this one has a whole system from Doma, and the standard bikes, the original, delivers 48 horsepower approximately. This one delivers 65, and that's because of the Doma system, and also because of another ECU. So you can get that on the homepage. You can read on the homepage that you can add for the race system or the race setup. And you get that, and it's a significant amount of power, so I really recommend that. And the sound in this, yeah, you heard it on the video, it's really nice. Reminds a bit about the 450 Rally Raid, the Rally replica. Shots fired, but it does. I think it does. Going back to the bike, domino handles. And the seating, we have to mention that this seating was tested out 7 times until it got approved from the brothers or Antonio. So it's a really good seat actually. I pushed it sometimes and I moved myself forward to get some equal balance, and it was really nice because it's more narrower in the front, and when you sit longer back you get more comfortable seating, so when you ride longer rides. I think I did 4 to 5 hours on the bike yesterday, if not more, and no problems with the seating. And so that's that. In general, this is a really good bike because it has service intervals about approximately 5,000 kilometers every now and then, or every 5,000. And you could just check in the homepage for more service intervals explanations. But it's a very, I wouldn't say old engine because it's new, but it's an tried out concept. So since then you don't need to be worried about those components, which I think is really nice when you're looking at the new bikes like this. You know that the practices of this, how it's been used, is really worked in. So it's I don't get concerned when I try it out. Just a general feeling. What I don't like is the side stand. The side stand has which is something that you always fix when you buy new bikes. There's always something that you want to fix and to make it personal. The side stand automatically flips up, so when you lean the bike towards some place or somewhere, just take it somewhere, it flips up automatically. So you could probably hinder that with the torsions. So it's just a matter of fixing it. What else? The balance in this bike, I think it's really, really interesting. Sometimes you read it, and when you start to think about, when you read the balance, it responds. You have to try it out. This is definitely something that you need to try and compare with the 690 KTM and the 701 Husqvarna. So in that range, I think you have to try this bike out, because it does bring you something that is a bit more competitive when it comes to adventure. So if you're out in the adventure range and do want to be able to push on the road sections when it's gravel, you have to check this one out, because it gives you a bit of a feeling that you could race with it. The 690 and 701, absolutely, you could race with it too, but I don't know, there's something about it that this gives you... Sometimes when I've been riding this 690 or 701 or trying it out, and I own a 990, and I've also owned a Husqvarna 500, sometimes those can bite you back. When you push them really hard, it sometimes gives you a swing and a push back. Maybe it's because you can't read the bike, or because you're doing something that is not supposed to be done with the bike, but I didn't get that feeling on this one. You have to try it out yourself. It's very hard to explain. So the side stand is something that I'm critical to. The neutral lamp is also something that is it starts to light up before it's actually in neutral. So you don't want to trust the neutral lamp totally. You want to feel it actually going into neutral. Hopefully it gets fixed on the 2022 bike. Also something, the gear lever. In the beginning it goes out a bit and then it switches on. So sometimes when you feel the gear lever with your left foot, it's actually not the actual pedal that sticks out, because it's the metal piece holding the pedal. So you have to be careful when you try to touch it. So sometimes you miss it and slide off it. But that's probably just something that you learn after a bit. What else? To me, this is a bike that you want to try out before you're buying the 690 and the 701 Husqvarna. It's in that range, especially when you get the Sachs closed cartridge in the front. To me, if I know the math and everything correctly, it doesn't switch the fluids and you can push it right a lot more. So it gives you a bit of a more confidence when you actually on the gravel road and hits a bump. I did it a couple of times and I was like, okay, it didn't surprise you or anything. So you gotta try it out. Also, a lot of people want to be able to do stuff, and of course it's a big discussion if do you want to focus on riding or do you want to focus on the digital. You have it there. It's a good big dashboard, so you get all the figures up there. Yeah, speed, gear, everything that you could think about, the maps and everything. I had a problem last night. It became cold. It's like 3 or 4 degrees when I was going to camp. My battery on my phone didn't quite charge up because it was too cold. Then, so I couldn't get any connection to the Google Maps on my phone, and then I switched on the drive mode, and it showed you a map that was added in there, and I just showed you this is south, you should go there. Started to drive, and eventually I got connection to my phone. So, yeah, helped me out and saved me. Other than that, when you're pushing with the bike, you're not unconfident at all. These packages are sitting very comfortable in your back. You could get a bit frustrated if you have a backpack. I do that. So I had to flip this one 90 degrees, so I pushed it a little bit more back, so then I could actually ride with my backpack. The setup with Enduristan is just perfect. This is something, calculate that in your price when you buy it. But it's really, really nice. Overall, this is something that you want to try out before you buy Husqvarna and KTM, I'd say. And yeah, that's of course is something. It's a bit of a statement, but when it's so much to try it out, the engine has been running for years and it's been fine-tuned and set it up more and more efficiently. With this dome system and the ECU, I would definitely look at this one. The price range is also better. There's no problem with getting parts and spare parts, because it's in Europe and you have very good contacts with the Swedish AJP Nordic, so there's no problem with that. What else? Super satisfied with the bike. It's something I've been thinking about, selling my 990 and getting something smaller, and this is definitely the one I'm aiming for. And I have to mention, this is a bike for early adopters. If you're not into the new stuff and are curious about what's happening on the market and the bike market, then you might need to look at the standard brands. This is something for the early adopters, especially when it comes to nav mode and the dashboard with the Samsung tablet. It's a Samsung Tablet A, so you can fill it in. Because what a lot of people do is that they buy the 690 or the 701 and want a navigation panel or a navigation tower. You get that already in here with the Hellas lights and the Samsung tablet, and the smaller one is just for checking off the boxes to be able to do the inspections. But of course, you get fuel range in there, revs and everything you need, turning the signals and everything. But what you do when you buy a 690 or a 701, shots fired, you do want some kind of navigation on it. And you get that on this bike. When you have this type of reliable old engine, and when you have this type of sucks front and rear, and you have the Brembo brakes and the wheels are assembled and good. You don't, because if you buy a KTM 690 or Duke or 690 Enduro or Husqvarna, you also have to spend that money. So it's probably, you could spend like 30 to 40k Swedish kroners extra on a navigation tower. It gets expensive. So you probably, if you look at a new one, you probably end up like 180k or more. This one with the Sport, with the Doma and the Tune ECU, with this horsepower, you round somewhere around 120, 130k. So definitely something that you have to check up. Super excited with it, super satisfied with it. Have a try if you can. It's gonna be hard, but do have a try. And yeah, super stoked about this weekend. Thank you so much for AJP Nordic for loaning it to me, Enduristan and also Klim. It's been really nice. And comment below if you've tried it, if you've seen it, if you have some questions about it. I'm gonna try to answer as much as possible, and yeah, stay tuned. There might be some more. See you guys.
Bye.